Velká válka skončila. Jediné, co chceme, je vrátit se domů. Do nové republiky, která se zrodila v srdci Evropy. Jenže trčíme tady, protože sílící občanská válka blokuje přímou cestu na západ. Jediná cesta ven vede na východ přes území, o které bojuje Rudá a Bílá armáda. Musíme přejet Sibiř v obrněném vlaku a pak bezpečně doplout domů lodí. Je to naše jediná šance, jak tuto dlouhou cestu přežít. Možná to bude náš poslední vlak domů.
Welcome to No Jumping Please and episode 1 of Last Train Home. I will start this playthrough where I will try to get our Czechoslovakian soldiers all the way through Russia during the Russian Revolution. Now I've already cheated and started a little bit by playing the tutorial missions, so we are gonna dive right in to where we're at now. We have traveled 39 kilometers, so not very far. We're on our way to Moscow, and during the tutorial missions we get to know a little bit of the soldiers and a little bit of the game mechanics. Later on I might upload an episode 0 if anyone is interested in what the tutorial missions are, but the quality of that recording was so bad that I think I will just skip it. What happened in the story so far that is worth noting is we got to know some of our characters, we got to know some of their details, but primarily the group met some Reds. First off, we met them in a village where they were burning crops because the villagers refused to give them up. So not very inspiring to the Czech soldiers, getting them quite anxious about who the Reds really are. And later on we met a general that made some threatening remarks. They came to nothing, and the missions were surrounding that. We are on our way to meet Captain Langer in Moscow. So with that we'll dive right into the game. Now, this is our world map, what it looks like. It's really nicely done. You have forests and the landscape, and this is where I've been with the check marks and finished the tutorial missions. They were mostly just learning the basic game mechanics. We are on our way to Moscow here, and in the UI you can see what we have. We have a hospital car, an infantry car, well, 2 infantry cars, a storage, artillery, and a locomotive. It's called the Towing Bull, so an impressive name for a train. We have some resources. We have fuel, food, money, wood, metal, cloth, herbs, and gunpowder. We have a squad, consists of these people, and up here we can see a collection of useful traits. They have some good, some positive, and some negative traits. I will look into them in more detail later on, but these are the good traits that we can that we should remember when sending them to different missions later on, so that we get, you know, positive results on missions. Our train looks like this. The Towing Bull, and it has you know, night shift and day shift people. Artillery train, we can see our workers. We only have room for 1 worker in the day shift. For the machine gun, we have the storage car, infantry, hospital car with our doctors. So this train is supposed to take us all the way through to Siberia so that we can get home. We're taking the long route because, like, if you're familiar with the European map, you will know that Czechoslovakia is south, and now we're going east, well, southwest from our current position. Okay, let's get started. Makes a really, really nice train sound, and I appreciate so many details in this game, such as when you zoom in, you can see the landscape being generated, and the puff of smoke feels really, you know, like, what is it, 1917 type of train. But we are moving onwards to Moscow. We're going to meet Langer, who will serve as an advisor. Now, we tried picking up resources, but we didn't get as many resources as we wanted. There are roles, two types, combat and train roles. So combat is what they're doing when they're on mission, and in train is what they're doing during the mission. Now, these guys that are in the hospital car, they will not be sent to missions. They will be in the hospital car. Now, these guys are my soldiers, and, well, everyone lives here. If we look in depth in my squad, you'll see that I have a grenadier, a scout, rifleman, machine gunner, medic, scout, medic, and grenadier. So these guys are who I will be sending out. Now, for this playthrough, I'm playing as a commander, and I really like this way of thinking regarding difficulties. So you have, you know, easy, various difficulties, and so on. But you can also pick the kind of focus if you want to focus on tactics and battles, but you don't want to care about rationing food and so on. Or if you want to focus on running the train instead of engaging in complex tactical battles. So I like that you can actually shift between those. Now, for this playthrough, I've chosen Commander because I want to try to make it as an interesting challenge as possible. But I've also tried normal, and I'm also going to play on normal because, you know, I want a little bit of a challenge, but not too much. It might. I'm not very patient when it comes to tactical deployment of soldiers and so on. So that's why I made that choice. Okay, so this is our first mission to learn how to send squads on the map, and we need to do some shopping because we simply didn't get enough food. Now we see that we have Kaluga here, and I'll wait until we've crossed the water, and then I will stop the train. I'll cost 1 energy to go there. I'll send my entire team, and here this trait, Avaricious, will be beneficial. He's a good haggler, so whenever trading is needed, this is the guy to send. So we went to town, and there are no resources for us to find, but we're gonna check in with the store anyway. And now we're gonna ask a little bit more about the Reds. They seem to be harassing the local population with recruiting and requisition because they seem to be getting ready for another war. We are concerned. Now here we have a merchant that we can interact with in the town, and we have the trait needed. We needed herbs, cloth, we can pay this much money. They don't seem to have any food. I don't want to waste all my money immediately in one go, so I'll just buy some of these things. I didn't get any, you know, specific instructions on how much to buy. Now I can sell some things I don't need. I might not want that many cigarettes. Maybe not as much alcohol because, you know, can't have our people getting drunk all the time, I guess. Goulash. No, they need goulash. And we have, but I'm gonna guess. I think I'm gonna need everything I can get. So I'll accept this trade, and with that, we're gonna send them back to home. Takes another energy. But this is the bleak landscape of our journey. We're not gonna have an easy time finding what we want. Now the soldiers are making random statements here, so it's kind of nice flair to pay attention to. Our engine failed, so we're gonna have to repair it and learn how to maintain our train. So this is also still part of the tutorial. And while we do that, we can also send our squad out on missions, because the repairs will take some time, and we can't do anything else while the repairs are ongoing. And they're worried about the meeting in Moscow. Okay, so I can go to the forest and I can go to the lake. Now here, these traits are good. Hunter and survivalist, and forest, hunter, survivalist, herbalist. Now I have a squad with all of these traits, so I think I will send them this path. But first, I will start repairs. Now I have one dude that's idle. Mr. Sissel here, you will be my worker. 90% work efficiency. You will repair. It's gonna take 2 hours with my guy. While we do that, we'll send our squad here. Now we have all the traits, so... No, we don't have survivalist. Oh, I thought I had a survivalist. Okay, no survivalist. Now, we're gonna forage, see what we find. Hopefully find something good. We might get food, we might get herbs. Now here, in this menu, we can see a little bit of what we find. So we have a hunter, so it was good sending our hunter here. Our herbalist found some herbs, and Alfred ate some poisonous berries, so now he is sick. But we got food and herbs, and XP. Well, maybe not the best result, but we'll take it. Yeah, no, I was hoping I could send him home, but I couldn't, so they're just gonna have to live with our sick guy. Unfortunately, I couldn't give him anything to treat his illness from eating poisonous berries, so we're just gonna have to live with it. And our train is being repaired, and once it's finished repairing, I'm gonna send it here so that they don't have to walk as far. Here, it takes 2 hours to try to catch some fish. We don't have survivalists, but we do have hunters, so maybe it will be good. So now we can send the train and let them just work, and the timer countdown is there. 4 tired and 1 sick. I think I need to rest before I enter Moscow. We don't want people with low energy, because I have a bad feeling. Considering if we look at the Moscow overview, we can see 4 red skulls. Seems like, you know, a bad thing. The train wait. Here you can read about the day and night shift if you need to. Here's the report for our foraging. We got lots of fish. Let's send them back to the train. I have some sick and tired people. I think that might be a good opportunity to try to see what we can do. Okay, we are gonna put our dear Alfred in the hospital bed, because I'm gonna assume he needs to be healed. It's probably better to do that in a hospital bed than just lying around. And we have 4 tired soldiers, so we can look into them, and you can see it's Magdalena, Bedrick, Anton, and we don't want them tired. Like, it's in the middle of the night, and I'm just gonna let them rest for a bit. I feel that's prudent. With this, they are no longer tired, so I just let them rest a few hours. The ill guy is still ill, and it will last 19 in-game hours. Another 19 in-game hours, and I don't think I want to wait for that. So he's just gonna have to be sick. I don't think I can afford to leave him behind. I'm a bit scared about this 4 skull mission here. We have our Alfred being ill, and I want to comment a little bit about it because it happened because he has the character Avaricious. Not a good person, but a good haggler, and jinx, bad luck charms. Accidents occasionally happen to, I assume those things made him eat those poisonous mushrooms and become ill. Now, when going to Moscow, or before going to Moscow, I think I want to look through my soldiers and see what it is we have. Joseph here, he is vengeful. He does not like the Reds. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out, what he will do and think and say in the future. He's also clumsy. So, being a grenadier that is also clumsy is maybe not the best idea. And maybe in the future, I might not want to have him working as a grenadier most of the time. Well, we'll see about that. For now, he's what I have. He's weak as well. So, not the best in general. A nationalist. So he wants Czechoslovakia to survive. For him, that's important. Our next character is Maximilian. Max. He is ruthless. So I guess if I'm trying to be a nice person, he will dislike it. And I mean, I'm a nice person, or I'd like to think. So he might not like my choices. He's intelligent though, so that's always good. Someone that can think about things. Monarchist, which I guess in this day and age makes sense. Bedrick, our primary rifleman, diligent, so earnest and good-natured, also nationalist, focused, and strong-willed. So he seems like a good character to bring. He won't succumb easily. Anton, yeah, we looked into him. No, he's also avaricious, religious, focused, herbalist, and sickly. Oh yeah, I would have thought he would be the one that fell ill, but it was the other avaricious character, and I have 2 of them. That's very good. I didn't realize. Magdalena, our medic, funny, and a monarchist, charismatic. So funny, good person to have around that people like. Weak as well, but good at finding resources in houses. She knows where to look. Alfred, we looked at, he's also a communist. He supports the Reds, but not the way they're doing things. So that's an interesting belief system to have with you. So the soldiers aren't really aligning in their beliefs, which it makes it interesting to it's interesting to have that sort of mix in our squad. He's also a burglar, so he can also find extra resources. And jinx, bad luck. And not very smart, so not good. And Alspeta is diligent, monarchist, kind-hearted. So that I like that, being nice, being a nice person, but a bit chaotic. So maybe annoys other people. Dusan, aggressive, violence, monarchist, brawler, and a loose cannon. So I'm guessing a good guy to send on, in close combat in missions. So with that, we know our guys, and we are gonna send them into Moscow. I don't have a good feeling about this. Now, yeah, in the journal we can see how far we've gotten. So we're on our way to Vladivostok, and this is how far we've traveled and the stops we've made so far. Little pins. I really like the looks of this map, and here we see we need to get all the way here, and we've traveled 253 kilometers. That's not very far. We're on day one. In the future we'll see who died, but so far none. It looks like we have 2 places where we can make choices. So we'll see if we go via Yekaterinburg or Ula towards Omsk. We'll see. That's the first choice. And this game, has some choices. And here are the missions and how we did. And graveyard. So far, none dead. I'm gonna try to keep that number as low as possible. Okay, Moscow. Let's see. You can see already that this is a big city compared to all the other places we visited. So I'm assuming this is a big mission as well. This is the future No Jumping Please recording, because as I was playing the big Moscow mission, I discovered it was indeed much too lengthy for one single episode, as my original thought was. So instead, I will make this strange cut in the middle with the recording done later. And I hope you enjoyed this first episode where I walked you through some of the game mechanics, and I hope I set up the stage for an interesting first mission that my next episode will focus on. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This has been No Jumping Please, and my first recording of my first playthrough of Last Train Home. Thank you, and see you next time.